Gage, have you ever been in love?
I believe I have been in love before. Yes.
When?
When?
Yeah.
You gonna put me on the spot? I think in my last relationship I was in love.
Okay. Um. So.
Hold on. Have you ever been in love? Or have you, you've never been in a relationship, so
It doesn't matter.
you being in
I've
love.
been in love.
Right, but you being in love is kind of wild to me.
We could talk about that in a second. Let's go back to you real quick. So you said that you were in love, but you're not with the person that you were with now. Correct. So can you be in love if you felt like you were in love and now love is no longer there?
Okay. Well, you have to differentiate the two. All right, there we go. Love and being in love.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you're in a relationship with somebody for an extended period of time, you will always have love for them in a certain type of way. All right. But me being in love with them, I'm not in love with them anymore, because the feeling of being in love just isn't there. People always talk about a spark. Is a spark there? Is a spark there? The spark is a part of being in love.
But does that merit? Because I don't think being in love and love are the same thing. Because you can be in love with a lot of people.
Right.
For example, I'm in love with a lot of people.
Right. You're in love with a lot of people?
I'm in love with a lot of people.
But you don't love them. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I haven't done anything to have the opportunity to love them yet. You know what I'm saying? Because love is an experience.
Are you in love with them, or are you infatuated with the thought of being in love with them? Because you can't be in love with somebody that you don't know.
Yes, you can.
No, I don't think you can.
Well, I'm telling you, you can, because I experienced it a lot.
But
it's more than just a feeling. It's actions that I know I will do when given the opportunity to express my love.
But being in love is an experience. Being in love is not a thought of meeting somebody. Being in love is actually experiencing life with them.
So if a person, so if you had a girlfriend and she lived in, and this is an important topic because you told me you would never date a girl that you couldn't be around, right?
That I could not go and see.
Because I've tried to hook you up on numerous times. I'm trying to set you up numerous times with girls.
If I can't see a girl regularly, like for a long distance, I can do long distance, but I would need to see them probably 2 or 3 times a month.
But there are a lot of relationships with people who do long distance. So
Very true.
Are you telling me that those people aren't in love because they don't spend time with each other?
No, but they have before, and that's what got them to that, that point in their life. Okay, because check this out. I feel like if I can't see them, I don't know if I like them. Like, I like them because you can trick somebody over the phone all the time. You can trick somebody over the phone. You can talk somebody, you can FaceTime them and be funny and all that type of stuff. But when you're around them, is the energy there? Is the vibe? Is the vibe there? Like, do you think you could spend an extended amount of time with them? Because that's a big thing for me. Can I spend an hour with you and not get annoyed? Like, come on.
I mean, but if you're with a person for a significant amount of time, there are going to be times where you
don't want to be with them.
Like, sometimes you're just like, I don't.
Okay, true.
That doesn't mean you don't love them anymore.
True. But I'm saying at the beginning of the relationship, you need to have these types of conversations. You need to have, you need to be with them physically. You need to be with them to form that type of bond. I can't form that type of bond over FaceTime.
How important is sex for you when it comes to love?
I don't think it's that important.
So
As I gotten older, because I feel like the younger you are, the more it contributes to you falling in love with them.
so your girl. Okay.
Okay.
And you have never had sex with her.
Right.
Would you stay with her?
It depends, because
If if a girl told you she would never have sex with you as long as you lived.
Okay. So I look at it this way. What's the strongest feeling do you think a lot of people have? What do you think the strongest feeling is? Or the thing that most people hold the closest to their heart?
What do you mean?
Like, what do you think people latch on to the most in their life?
For me, it's memories.
For me, and I think about it in terms of being in love, I compare love to faith. If you know what I'm saying, because faith is unbreakable for most people, right?
Okay.
Faith is unbreakable. Being in love can be breakable, but I feel like it's still that feeling. Faith and being in love are comparable in the way that faith is a belief that you have in something that you can't see. You cannot see yourself being like, you can't see the energy or the way you are in love with somebody. You can just feel it. Faith, you can feel it. Does that make sense?
And that is why I can tell you, even though I've never been with anybody, that I've been in love with several people and I love them, because that feeling, from a spiritual perspective, when you just have a feeling of, you can't explain it, but you feel it in your body. It's better than the most powerful massage you've ever had in your body. It runs through you.
Right.
It's like your chakra or whatever. It's exploded. You feel it
your
through
chakras.
your chakras or whatever. You feel it throughout your whole body.
Right.
And when you can just think about that person, which for me, I think about those people. It's a couple of girls. It's a girl in my life. Now, ideally, I would love to be with her.
But are you in love with her?
Yes.
You're in love with her.
Yes.
I'm just mind blown at the
But
fact.
You do not have to be with the person that you're in love with.
Let me finish. I'm just mind blown in the fact that you're in love with somebody that you haven't spent time with them physically.
I have.
Let's see, emotionally.
I have.
But have y'all made those steps?
Okay, so let
because
me ask you
being in love is steps
because
too.
the only thing that sounds like the difference between the relationships that you've been in and the relationships that I've been in is, one, you put a title on it, and two, you've had sex with the person that you were in love with. Correct? What else is different from what I've experienced and what you have?
I think, are you exclusive to them? No.
I will be.
But you've never been exclusive with them.
I have, maybe.
No, but
to what extent?
Okay.
To what extent? Give me a scenario.
To what extent that you're not, y'all are both have an agreement that y'all are not talking to anybody else, that you're exclusive to each other. If y'all do have sex, it's monogamous. You're not seeing anybody else.
But we're not in a relationship.
Okay, but that's the thing.
So for you, you don't think you can love multiple people? Because that's what it sounds like.
I think I can love.
You make it sound like being in love with a person is monogamous.
No, I think I can love multiple people. Can I be in love with multiple people? Relationship wise, no. I don't think you can.
Why not? Okay, so,
because
all right, not relationship wise. Do you think you can be in love with a female and then be in love with the person that you're actually with?
No, because that's relationship wise. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I personally cannot be in love with another female if I'm in a relationship. It's not gonna happen because I'm giving all of my love, all my undivided attention, all that stuff, all the stuff that forms into being in love with somebody to one person. There is no way that I could possibly give all of my energy to one person and then turn around and give the same exact energy to another person.
Right, and I agree with that. But for me right now, I've never been in a position to where I am one on one with one person.
Right. So I don't understand how you could be in love with that person. So so you being in love with a person is
It might be unrequited or requited or whatever you
I'm just
however you
it's
say it.
it's not
It could be it may be one sided for me.
then I don't think that's being in love.
Why do you think being in love is a mutual thing?
Yes.
Why is that?
Definitely.
Why is that?
Because it's a bond.
Would you die for the if you had a girlfriend, would you die for her on sight?
If I was in love with her,
Yeah.
yes. That's what being in love is
But
about.
if she wouldn't die for you, do you think that then does that still hold what you just said?
So if I'm in love if I'm in love with her to the point that I would die for her and she's not in love with me to the
She
point
can still be in love with you, but she still wouldn't die. She wouldn't die for you.
it would it would be weird because you would have to figure out how she loves you.
How many people do you think are genuinely in love? Because we see relationships all the time, and especially our age, we see a lot of them. Either if they're not going to shit, they're on the verge.
Right.
Can you think of any people that you know that are our age that are just truly in love?
Honestly, I'm not around a whole lot of people, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. I wouldn't be able to. I don't think there are a lot of people though. I don't think there are at all, especially in 2020.
Do you think it's harder to find love now than it was, say, when our parents were alive? Because I
Yes.
talk to my parents all the time, and they say like, "You ain't got no woman yet," like,
Yes.
and I'd be like, I'm not interested in the same thing that my peers are. My life is and I asked you about the whole sex thing. I feel like me personally, if I did not have to have sex
Mm.
with that person,
Mhm.
or I couldn't,
Mhm.
it wouldn't matter.
Right.
It would not matter.
I think that um, relationships now are so much different than back then because of the force of physical connection. You don't have to uh, be with somebody physically now.
See, I think all right. So for me, my love or the way I love it is in association with me being lonely. I don't want to be
Okay.
we're talking about this is like long. This is the end game.
Right.
I would never want to be um in a situation where I'm no longer with people because I value my memories so much.
Right.
And it's the memories that we make with people. And I say that's why at the moment I'm, cherishing my friends more than I am trying to find a relationship because I am establishing those memories. But eventually, I would love to settle down with someone and not only create with them if I have to,
Mm.
which a great form of creation is procreation, I guess. But you also want someone who's going to be with you in a metaphorical sense and a literal sense
Right.
forever.
But think about it. Okay. I've noticed that I've said think about it a lot. But
I'm thinking.
uh back then in relationships, I think somebody just recently said in a song, but um when it comes to relationships back then, it's like, do you think your mom and dad would be together if they had social media back then?
My parents would.
Yeah, I'm just saying hypothetically. Like, do you think your parents would be together if there was social media back then and they could literally open their phone and see millions of beautiful girls at the swipe of a finger?
So, but I don't think that would matter because if I'm in a relationship
But in
and
that
if I was in a relationship and I seen the finest girl walk through the door, I wouldn't bat an eye.
right, but you're different. So 2020, you have all these men that their perception of women have changed. So they want the Instagram models. So them finding an Instagram model and falling in love with them or loving them is going to be easy because that's what they want so much. But that's only what they want, you know, in the physical.
So this is so it's like a fabricated illusion, I guess.
Exactly.
So the physical, and this is important because I think over 99% of the reason why people cheat is because of the physical.
Right.
You don't cheat on people that you truly love, one, and you don't fall in love with people without the physical
Right.
if you're already in a relationship.
Right.
And I see a lot of females that get heartbroken and a lot of guys that get heartbroken too because for the most part, and I will say this, guys can bash me all you want, but we are the is it the catalyst? Anyways, we're the starters of the fire, and I, I take full responsibility because a lot of times we're aware, guys, we start the fire, we cause the heartbreak, we cause the deception, um,
Okay, but
and
that
it is. Let me say this: it's clearly up to the individual to either carry on the fire and pour it onto someone else, or to just stop and start over anew. If you're listening, which basically I'm saying is, somebody hurt you, don't go and seek revenge on the next person you're going with because that's not. It's going to cause a ripple effect,
right.
and that's why so many people are. That's a part of a reason why a lot of people are insecure and things like that. Because it depends on who you pick too, because you might actually be in love with a person, but like you said, which makes sense now. If it's not a mutual love, if a person is looking at someone else or cheating,
Right.
they're not in love with you.
Right.
Because I can look at someone well, I can if they're looking at someone and their thought process is of the physical and like the things I would do to her, that type of vibe.
Right.
That's when it goes awry because now you're not thinking here, you're thinking here.
Which is why I don't think that you can fall in love with somebody without exclusive. We're not even gonna say it.
Exclusivity.
Yes, exclusivity.
Um, are you saying me specifically?
I'm just saying in general. I do not think that you can do that without being dedicated to one person. Because being like falling in love with somebody is a dedicated. It's a dedicated. I won't say a job, but it's a dedicated thing that sometimes you don't know that it's happening.
So you're like solely monogamous. You believe in like pure monogamy.
Yes.
Do you think that a lot of relationships would be a lot more successful if they were able to openly agree to being
Polygamous.
not polygamous, but um, free? Like
I think.
let me explain. So it's like you fuck who you want to fuck.
Right.
I fuck who I want to fuck. But at the end of the day, there's no emotion with these other people. It's strictly sex, and you come home to me. You know what I'm saying? Like you are my rock, I'm your rock.
Right. But some people hold sex to a higher standard. Now, check this out. If you're in a relationship and um and you come to your wife or your husband tells you that um I don't want to have sex. I don't want to have sex. Uh but I love you. I'm in love with you. I want everything else that you provide. All right. Can you go and have sex with another person and and you not feel a way about it? I don't think so. You know why? Because you want you want that. You want sex from your wife. So you're literally going to another person in void of what you cannot get from your wife or your husband.
I couldn't fathom seeking someone else when I have somebody. That's why I'm saying, even if I couldn't have sex with my wife anymore or whatever reason,
Right.
um,
But
that's a part of. I feel like that's even a bigger part of love. That sacrifice that I'm literally making
right.
of doing nothing
Right.
to seek pleasure from someone else. That restraint that I'm showing is a great form of love.
It is.
That is a true essence of being in love with someone, when you can compromise yourself, because it takes a level of maturity, one, but it takes a level of intellectual, just knowing that for every action there's a reaction, and that action, the purest form of, it's kind of like a show of respect too.
Right. You know who I think has you know who I respect in relationships if they can actually keep the relationship strong. And we can't see inside of the relationship, but I'm thinking about A-list and B-list celebrities because you said a lot of it is physical, right? Think about how tempted they are every single time they go out to a party, because if we go out to a place or a bar, so we're like, all right, maybe there'll be some fine females here. If they go out, it's going to be the baddest of the baddest people there. Like, it's going to be the finest women that you could ever imagine at those parties. If you can resist the temptation to cheat on your significant other, or uh, try to form different
But
types of
see,
connections with
that's
other
what
people.
I'm saying, and I can only speak for me. I don't give a fuck how beautiful you are. You're not that person that I'm in love with.
Right. But I'm saying, like, celebrities, when it comes to temptation and the physical, when it comes to temptation and the physical, they have it the absolute hardest. The absolute hardest.
I have a question for our female audience. Can you be in love with a guy who... And the reason I asked that is because I have a lot of female friends, and I've asked them the exact same question, and this is the response I get.
Silence? What's the response?
Pure silence. They genuinely don't know what to answer to that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, being in love is being like loving somebody is just, especially if their love language is physical touch. Like, that's going to be one of the main reasons that they fall in love with you. Because some people can just have sex whenever they want and they can feel nothing. That's most guys. Most guys can have sex and not feel nothing and think, hey, it's just a physical, a physical altercation between two people. And some women can do that too. But I'm saying, if you hold that to a higher standard, there is no possible way that you think that relationship or the marriage is going to last. Which, like, wait till marriage. You wait till marriage. I feel like if you wait till marriage, you form that bond, that deep rooted bond and connection that you have with somebody. You fall in love with them. Honestly, I don't think it matters, because that's not what you fell in love with.
I think it would just be funny if you follow, like, a female falls in love with a guy and he's like, okay, no sex till marriage, and then it gets to wedding night, you're like, is this really it? Like, for the rest of my life, this is the dick I have to.
But you can be like, she can be like confused, or he can be. They can form an illusion to think it's good, just because they have that type of love, just because they're in love with them. Because if you're in love, you are blind to some of the things that they do, that you're like, oh, that's wrong. You're blinded to that. If it's bad, like, you might not know because you've been waiting for this. Like you've been wanting
Yeah, I don't
this.
think there's a lot of females. I don't think there's a lot of people in general that are still virgins, though.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you get to a certain point where even if they don't do nothing, you gonna feel around or something. You know what I'm
You
saying?
think
Like,
something's gonna happen regardless.
you gonna like, stretch out a hand or something,
Something's gonna happen regardless.
and you either gonna pick up a baseball bat or you gonna pick up a cigarette.
Okay, calm down. Calm down. All right, let's bring it back to after we've had this conversation. What is love?
I would like you to explain, or I would like you to tell me in your words. You're gonna tell you in your words, and I'm gonna tell in my words.
With love or being in love?
What love is.
What love is.
And then we'll talk about being in love.
To reiterate what I've said, love is a uncontrollable group of emotions towards a person or somebody that you cannot control. Some of them that you can control, some of them you cannot control, but sometimes you don't know how they got there, but they've got there and they hurt. They hurt good, they hurt bad. Sometimes they barely hurt, sometimes they hurt to the point where you wish that it didn't happen. That is what love is to me.
What the fuck was that?
What is love to you?
Love to me. Love is sacrifice.
Okay.
Love is desire.
Mm.
Love is presence.
Mm.
Love is that feeling when the person is not there, but you still think about them and you laugh or you cry or you smile or you smirk. Love is when you never feel alone, because even though a person's not with you, their presence is there. When you smell it, you can taste it, you can hear it, you can think about it, you can feel it. Love is that look in your eyes when you look at a person.
Don't look at me and say that.
Love is determination to be the best possible person that you can be, no matter what circumstance you're in for another person. Love is putting everything that you have on the line for a person.
Love is